Some memories feel real, too real. Smell of a room you've never entered, street corner from a city you've never visited, a song you've never heard, but somehow you know exactly what comes next. In the strangest of all moments from early childhood that you recall with perfect clarity, even though every scientific study says those memories should be impossible. But what if they aren't childhood memories at all? What if they belong to someone else? Someone who lived long before you. Someone who walked through the world before you ever opened your eyes. For centuries, psychologists, neuroscientists, and philosophers have argued that the human mind begins as a blank slate. Yet, millions of people report memories from a time before they were born, scenes, motions, identities, and entire lives that cannot be traced to their current existence. This video dives deep into one of the most disturbing and unsolved mysteries of human consciousness. Why do so many people remember things they never experienced? And if the mind is not limited to a single lifetime, then what are you, really? The mystery of impossible memories. 1. Childhood memories that should not exist. Most people don't remember anything before the age of 3. This phenomenon is called childhood amnesia and is one of the most consistent findings in psychology. Yet, countless adults vividly recall events from infancy. A yellow crib with a blue spinning mobile, a grandmother's lullaby that stopped being sung years before they were born, the layout of a home the family moved out of when they were barely 1 year old. These memories are so detailed and so emotionally rich that they cannot be dismissed as imagination. One woman in Sweden described a recurring memory of hiding under a wooden table while 2 adults argued above her. Years later, when she asked her mother, she learned that this exact event happened when she was only 10 months old. But even this doesn't explain the truly impossible memories. The ones that come from completely different centuries. 2. Children who speak languages they were never exposed to. Around the world, there are cases of children speaking languages they were never taught. A Turkish child in Adana speaking fragments of ancient Greek. A boy in the US describing military terms used in 1940s aircraft. A girl in India recalling old dialect phrases from villages that no longer exist. Psychologists call these phenomena cryptomnesia, claiming the child must have heard the words somewhere. But what about the cases where the language has been extinct for centuries? What about when a 2-year-old child speaks it fluently? 3. The cases researchers couldn't ignore. The most famous investigator of impossible memories was Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist who spent 40 years documenting children who claimed past life memories. He recorded over 3,000 verified cases. In hundreds of them, the child gave names of people from the previous life, described towns they had never heard of, identified family members from photos, remembered details that even the living relatives had forgotten. Many children even had birthmarks that matched fatal wounds from the previous person's death. If these accounts are real, then consciousness may not be tied to the brain at all. The science of unexplainable memory. For genetic memory, trauma passed through DNA in 2013. A groundbreaking study shocked the scientific world. Researchers found that mice exposed to traumatic experiences passed their fears down genetically, not through teaching, but biologically. Their descendants feared the same smell their ancestors had been conditioned to fear. If animals can inherit memories, can humans inherit experiences of their ancestors? This could explain irrational fears, unexplainable preferences, memories that feel ancient, dream fragments that seem like someone else's life. But genetic memory only goes so far. It cannot explain a child remembering names, addresses, or specific historical events. So scientists began looking at something even stranger. 5. Quantum consciousness, the mind outside the brain. Some physicists propose that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but received by it, like a radio signal. If this is true, then the death of the body wouldn't mean the end of consciousness. It would mean the end of the receiver. The signal could continue. Okay? And just as a new radio can tune into an old frequency, a newborn mind could tune into the memories of a previous consciousness. This theory might explain why children's recollections fade as they grow older. The new identity strengthens the frequency, shifts the signals, overlap, old memories dissolve. Not because they were fake, but because the newborn consciousness was still tuning in. 6. The holographic brain theory. Another possibility: your brain is not storing memories the way a computer does. Instead, memories are stored in a holographic field-to-field that exists outside the physical body. In a holographic system, every part contains the whole. Information is stored non-locally. Memory is not limited by time or space. The universe itself is holographic, then every consciousness might be connected to a shared memory field. Your memories could be overlapping with others who lived before you. Not reincarnation, not genetics, but a shared consciousness network. Stories that break reality. 7. The boy who remembered his murderer. Perhaps the most chilling case is that of a boy from the Golan Heights. At age 3, he began telling people he remembered being killed in his other life. He said he had been murdered with an axe. Elders ignored him until he led them to the exact village, the exact house, the exact spot where he claimed to be buried. They dug and found a human skeleton with a mark on the skull, exactly where the boy said the axe had hit. He then identified his murderer. The man confessed. If this case is true, then memory can survive death. Not metaphorically, literally. 8. The girl who recognized her family from another life. In Sri Lanka, a young girl insisted she had another mother in another village. When researchers investigated, they discovered a woman who had died years before, woman whose life details matched the girl's memories exactly. When they brought the girl to the village, she walked straight to the house without hesitation. Then she pointed at a man standing in the doorway and said, "That was my husband." She remembered their fights, the way he snored, and the name he called her when he was angry. Even the man himself admitted her knowledge was impossible. 9. The child who drew maps of a city he never visited. A young boy in the US repeatedly drew maps of a place called Newport. His parents lived in California. They had never traveled east. The boy described cobblestone streets, brick bridges, and a red lighthouse. Every detail matched a neighborhood in Newport, Rhode Island. When his parents took him there, he walked the streets confidently as if he had lived there his entire life. What if your memories are not your own? 10. Deja vu, or past life recall. What if deja vu is not a glitch, but a memory resurfacing? What if your solar consciousness has walked through these places before? Some researchers believe that deja vu happens when the subconscious recognizes a place from another lifetime. The brain momentarily accesses non-local memory. You experience a fragment from the holographic field. If true, then you are not remembering the past. You are remembering your past, not from this life. 11. Why children remember and adults forget. Children are more open, less conditioned, less attached to identity, closer to the moment of birth. As identity strengthens, old memories fade. Adults lose the ability to access deeper layers of consciousness, but meditation, hypnosis, and near-death experiences sometimes unlock them again. Some adults report memories from ancient civilizations, unknown languages, events they later confirmed in historical texts. How is this possible? Because consciousness may be far older than the physical body. 12. Are we all carrying invisible stories? Every fear you have, every strange attraction, every dream that feels more like a memory could be a fragment of another life. Maybe the universe recycles more than just atoms. Maybe it recycles experiences, too. Maybe you are not just one person. Maybe you are the latest chapter in a story that has been written for centuries. It's a question that changes everything. If your mind is not limited to one lifetime, if memory can survive death, consciousness exists beyond the brain, then who are you? biological machine, or an immortal observer traveling from life to life? Would you consider your identity may be nothing more than a temporary mask, a single lifetime in an infinite sea of experience? In the memories, you can't explain the ones that haunt you, the ones that feel too real, the ones that don't belong may be the whispers of another life you once lived, a life that refuses to be forgotten, because some memories are stronger than death.